Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to check out XRP's price chart because it has been a minute since we talked about Ripple, and unfortunately what we talked about in actually the previous video, which I think we made that video about 2-3 weeks ago, completely played out. Because if you remember the last time that we talked about XRP, we were somewhere around these areas, and the idea was that, well, okay, what we wanted to see in this region was a consolidation followed by another move up, and instead what did we get? A move down in order to take this low, and we were like, yeah, you know what, odds are this is actually a bit of a correction up, meaning from here in XRP we should probably have a continuation of our move down in order to possibly reach to about this level between, let's say, 1.6 to about $1.7. Now here's a very important point. This doesn't really mean that between these two levels there aren't actually a whole lot of strong supports. I mean, sure, right around maybe here to here we don't really have a lot of strong supports, that's fair, but there is actually a very significant support area right in here from weekly time frame between, I think it was 1.8 to about, let's say, $1.9 region. So you know what, let's just actually real quick stretch this cluster a bit more and call this whole region a support area. And why do I care about this? And I'm talking about this in every single update because this is essentially in XRP the last line of defense. Why? Simple reason. Let's go on daily time frame. You see, when we got this move on the downside, right in here we did consolidate a little bit, and that's why we are actually having this thing as a major support. However, under here, are you honestly able to find a whole lot of consolidation? Nope, not really. That's why I want to tell you, look, in XRP under this level we really do not have a whole lot of strong support. So if we end up going down from here or maybe a bit higher, in order to get a break of this thing, meaning we go under it, get a weekly candle close, followed by that we do a pullback, and then we get a continuation of the move down in order to take the loss. At that point, expect our move down to XRP to actually continue for quite some time, and we can actually say, yeah, you know what, maybe we are actually in a decent bear market. But as long as we are not getting a break of this level, I think makes sense to still remain very much optimistic, because again, I'm gonna tell you once more that it's actually very, very unlikely that a 7-year consolidation pattern, 7 absolutely annoying year of consolidation, is going to lead to just a move on the upside in order to take the previous major pivot high right in here, and that will be it. I think that's actually kind of unlikely, so that's why I want to tell you, look, again, as long as in XRP we're not breaking this level, we can actually expect some great move on the upside, hopefully by the end of this cycle, in order to take the all-time high in here about 3.6 bucks for the first target, but I'm really hoping that we are going to go quite a bit higher than that. So for now, I think we should be bullish as long as we are not proven otherwise. And in today's update, I actually have a bit of good news for you. Why is that? You see, let's go around here. If you want to, on any chart, be bullish and you want to argue, you know what, maybe in here we are having our final low, then okay, find me off of the lowest low, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in order for me to join your team. Excuse me, let's just adjust the waves. There we go. Now, this specific scenario is called an impulsive movement. Rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between our wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of Y wave, our wave 3 should not be the smallest wave. And in terms of the sub waves, you know the story, we're gonna have 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have so many different patterns. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. Let's say, yeah, okay, ABC into 4 and maybe a WXY into wave 2. And this, my friends, is actually like one very important reason for why am I so optimistic in XRP. You see, let's just zoom in. What do you have off of the lows? I think this can very well be 5 up, potentially I'm gonna say to about this point into a wave 1, followed by a correction for wave 2, and then maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to about this point into wave 3, correction for 4, another move on the upside into wave 5. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think our move up in XRP from here is probably going to actually continue a little bit more, and this 5 wave may not necessarily be in play. Instead, maybe let's say even to about this point is gonna be our wave 3, correction for 4, another big move on the upside into wave 5. But the point that I'm trying to make is this: I think we are now able to find a 5 wave off of the lows in XRP, which means hopefully the bottom is going to be in. But I'm telling you right now, this alone is not really enough for me to call this thing our final low with a whole lot of confidence. Like, do not get me wrong, this is a necessary condition, but it's not actually enough. What happens after a 5 wave up if you want to go according to the most bullish scenario? You know it if you are a regular viewer of the channel. We have to have a correction structure on the downside. So here is what I have to say. I'm gonna suggest just be patient and wait for a bit of a move on the downside and pay full attention to the shape of this thing, because I promise you this is going to determine what's next in XRP. If we end up having a very slow and choppy move on the downside, which is going to take some time, and between our pullbacks up in here, we're just going to have constantly overlapping of the waves, that means, yeah, you know what, we are having a bit of a correction, and hopefully this is going to be on a higher degree. 5 up into 1, correction for wave 2, and then hopefully we're going to get a magnificent move on the upside into wave 3, 4, 5 in order to finally get a break of this level. And why do we care about this thing so much? Because above it, I really don't think we are having a whole lot of strong resistances. So I'm gonna say, if we really do have the power to get a break of this important resistance, which the higher band of it is about 2.8 bucks, well, we may as well just continue our move up and take the all-time high about 3.6 bucks. But I think, again, we are going to go probably quite a bit higher than that. But for now, let's not really speculate that much. Let's just focus on what is going on in like very short term. And here is my final point. Why is it that right now I still want to be a bit careful? Because there is a chance that we're going to have in XRP like a very complicated pattern in form of an ABC running flat, and that one looks like this. This is our initial move up into a correction for wave B, which in it we are going to take this initial low, and then a decent move up into C. But in here we are not going to take the height of our A leg. What if we are going to take it? Okay, at that point this pattern is called an ABC expanded flat. Nonetheless, sub waves are absolutely similar. We're gonna have ABC into A, ABC into B, excuse me, followed by, yes, A1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave on the upside into our C leg. Now let's go on the live chart and see what is going on. So we said there's a very high chance this is a 5 wave up, but what if from this point, excuse me, we are having ABC into A and then maybe like an ABC zigzag into B, and this is going to be 5 up into C. At that point, again, you need to be seriously careful, because this indicates that we are going to have a rather strong move on the downside in order to set new lows and take the lowest low down here about, let's say, $1.8. So as you can see, bullish or bearish, it seems like in the short term we can expect a bit of a pullback, but the pullback itself is not really that important, okay? I need you to understand this. What really matters is the shape of the coming pullback, because that is really going to determine in XRP whether we are allowed to be bullish or bearish. If we get a slow and choppy move down, definitely bullish. If we get a strong move down, and by that, you know it, I'm talking about a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave without a lot of overlapping of the waves, something like this. At that point, be careful, because this might be a running flat indicating our move down is actually going to continue at quite a bit of a rapid pace. And again, you should always have a very important invalidation point for your bullish case. For me, it's absolutely going to be a break of this unbelievably important support area, which the lower band of it is about $1.6. As long as we are not getting a break of this thing, I think I should remain optimistic. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in XRP's price chart. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.